Hey guys, welcome back to another sports stuff video. Today we're talking about the Denver Broncos and their offseason plan to turn this team from a playoff contender into a Super Bowl contender. So if you guys do enjoy, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the video. As you guys know, the league year officially starts March 10th. That is the first day that the tampering window opens. So there'll be a lot of contracts that are, quote unquote, signed and agreed to. Trades that are, quote unquote, signed and agreed to. But they can't officially be accepted until March 17th. But March 10th is when all the rumors will be coming out. So I'm going to try and, very quick fire through all these playoff teams. So probably have to be doing 2 videos a day to get all these videos out before the league year starts. Because I don't want to be posting off-season plans while the off-season is over already. So, yeah, get ready for a lot of videos. Let's do it, Denver Broncos. So, at the cuts and or trades, they're at $34.7 million in cuts and or trades cap space. So, they're in a really good spot. Obviously, you have Bo Nix is on a rookie contract going into his second season. He had a pretty solid rookie season. So, overall, I just do not want to cut anyone. You want to build on Bo Nix's career. You want to build the roster. I'm just not in the business of cutting guys if they don't need to be cut or trading them if they don't need to be traded. So I decided I'm going to keep everyone on the roster that is currently on the roster. And all I'm going to do is do some restructure. So Mike McGlinchey, I'm going to be restructuring for $12 million. He's a great right tackle. This is actually probably one of the best signings that's underrated of the last few years. Because Mike McGlinchey, he's not going to be an all-pro, but amazing PFF numbers. He has really held down the line for Bo Nix. That you can trust that right side of the line to not collapse on him. Then Cortland Sutton will be restructured as well. There's a lot of rumors that Cortland might have been traded, but I think he was too important for Bo Nix's development. You got to keep Cortland Sutton. You're not in a bad cap space. Just keep Cortland Sutton and move forward. Restructure for $9 million. Then Zach Allen, another great defensive signing from Sean Payton last year or 2 years ago. That has really worked out. I don't want him off this team at all. So restructuring Zach Allen for $9 million opens up $30 million additional cap space, bringing that number to $65 million to go into some re-signings. So bringing guys that were essential to this team last year, bringing them back on $65 million, we can do that. First off, we're going to grab Cody Barton, the linebacker. Cody Barton last year had 69 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 32 run stops, and 14 pressures. He had a great career year for him. Cody Barton's always been one of those guys that's kind of bounced around the league. He was on the Seahawks, he was on the Commanders, and I always felt like he really played well, but not good enough for a long-term extension on any of these teams. Finally gets that chance to start in Denver and really explodes into a really good linebacker, amazing run stopper. So I'm going to be re-signing him. He was a linchpin for this defense. We don't want to lose that, signal caller in the linebacker room. Losing his run defense would make this unit crumble. The reason that Patrick Surtain was able to win Defensive Player of the Year is because the run defense of the front seven was so good that they had to throw on certain downs, and it let Patrick Surtain shine as a pass defender. So that's why I personally believe that Cody Barton was integral in that. Not that Cody Barton should have won or gotten any awards, but his run defense and the other guys' run defense around him really helped this defense stop the run this year and caused a lot of teams to pass on them, and it let PS2 shine and how good he was in stopping guys. So I gave him a 2-year, $13 million deal, $9.5 million guaranteed at 73% guaranteed. That's a good number in my opinion. I would do that 10 out of 10 times a day. Then next, I'm going to be re-signing DJ Jones, the D-tackle. DJ Jones had 33 tackles, 1 sack, 0 forced fumbles, 25 run stops, and 17 pressures. He is currently their starting nose tackle for them. He had a few good seasons under Sean Payton. I definitely want to, re-sign him as a priority because, in my opinion, keeping this defense together needs to be priority because, this offense is developing a lot of young pieces on it. All the wide receivers are on rookie contracts outside of Cortland Sutton, young tight end room, young running back room, young quarterback. So I want to bolster this defense and keep it going, what they're doing really well for them. He anchors a run defense on the defensive line. So DJ Jones and Cody Barton, I'm really reinvesting in that run defense, making sure that doesn't fall off. Gave him a 2-year, $21 million deal, $14.5 million, $14.5 million guaranteed. That is at 72% guaranteed. Worth it for DJ Jones. I am happy to keep that money. So now I have DJ Jones, Cody Barton. Those 2 guys are solidified for the next 2 years on this team. I love it. Then going into free agency, you have $51 million to make some moves. So I decided to go, let's go all out without putting too much money on the line. You know what I mean? So first off, I'm going to go with Justin Reed. Justin Reed had 70 tackles, 2 interceptions, 32 run stops, and 3 pass breakups. He really bolsters his free safety play. I don't think that their free safety play was awful. I just think that Justin Reed elevates it to another level, right? This would be a league best safety duo with Brandon Jones at strong safety, one of the best run stopping safeties in the league. Then Justin Reid, who is an amazing run stopper, but also a really good coverage guy at free safety. He won his Super Bowls. Get your money. He already had a pretty good contract with Kansas City, but now he's actually gotten his multiple Super Bowl rings. Go get your money, man. He's an elite run stopping free safety that doesn't let big plays happen. That's exactly what you want. One of the best free safeties in the league. And he comes to a team where run defense is a very big priority, but imagine him in coverage with PS2. Mwah, elite. So I gave him a 3-year, I didn't do these numbers. So I gave Justin Reid a 3-year, $48.5 million deal, $38.5 million guaranteed. That is 79% guaranteed. But knowing how good Justin Reid has been the last 3-4 years, I'm willing to bank on those first 2 years being fully guaranteed that he continues that elite play. And if he does tail off in that second, third year, you can cut him and save some money. But mainly, this is a 1 or 2 year big all move in play. And that third year, if he's still playing good, awesome. You got him on a good number. But if he's not playing good, you can always, move on from him and not really feel that pressure and that pain on the cap. Next, you have Nate Hobbs at corner. Nate Hobbs had 39 tackles, 1 interception, 16 run stops, and 3 pass breakups. He's a solid starting slot corner. Your corner room is not bad, but yeah, Patrick Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year, obviously really good. But outside of that, it's a pretty thin room, right? Obviously, Riley Moss, it was a first-year player, is okay, not horrible. But you just have a bunch of veterans that aren't really, they're at the past their peak now. So Nate Hobbs can come in, solidify one of those starting jobs. He wasted the last 2 years in Las Vegas. He's been really good, but it's that defense overall was horrible, so he's getting exposed. But I think he's good in pass coverage, a solid run defender as well. He could be a little bit better, but he's willing to throw his body around, which is important. Get to your trio you believe in with Riley Moss developing, Patrick Surtain, Nate Hobbs. That's your corners. Then with Brandon Jones and Justin Reid, that's an elite secondary, in my opinion. Get to your trio you believe in. Let's do it. 2 years, $8.5 million, $5 million guaranteed, with 59% of that being guaranteed. Great number for Nate Hobbs. Again, ensuring the run defense stays while bolstering the pass defense. That's the goal. With Justin Reid and Nate Hobbs, you do both those things. And finally, the last move I'm going to be making is Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin last year had 50 receptions, 576 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Unfortunately, he did come off, get a season-ending injury. I believe he's tore his Achilles or his ACL. All I know is I traded a third-round pick for Chris Godwin because he tore his ACL. And in my Dynasty League, I immediately traded for Chris Godwin. I love Chris Godwin. He only played in 7 games last year. So if you average out those 7-game stats to an 18-game season, 17 actually, but 18 weeks, he would have had 121 receptions, 1,398 yards, and 12 touchdowns. He's a great route runner, and he can be a lead wide receiver on a playoff caliber team. I think he's exactly what the Broncos need, right? Get Chris Godwin, get him in the building. You have Chris Godwin, you have Courtland Sutton, and you have your plethora of young wide receivers that play that wide receiver 3 role. And Chris Godwin can play slot, he can play outside. So it gives you versatility on who is on the field with Chris Godwin and Courtland Sutton. If you want to put Troy Franklin as a burner, Deshaun Vele as a possession guy, Marvin Mims as another burner, you can move guys around. I really like that. 2 years, $24 million. $16.5 million guaranteed at 68% guaranteed. It's a good number. Chris Godwin gets a lot of money up front, and if he hasn't really recovered from that injury, year 2, you could move on from him, save $14 million, but I'm willing to keep him for both years. So it's not like really long-term guarantees, but it's, hey, Chris Godwin, come into a playoff caliber team that needs a wide receiver desperately, get a lot of money, and if you don't play well for us, we'll cut you. You can go somewhere else next year, but you get $21 million guaranteed this year. I think that's something he would go for. So entering the draft, you have $14 million, just enough money to keep this draft class signable. So, you get Chris Godwin, you get Justin Reid, you get Nate Hobbs, you retain your run defense in the linebacker and D-tackle room. Your defenses you're feeling really good about with a really good wide receiver. Let's now build with the young guys. So at number 20, I'm going to grab Omarion Hampton. A lot of teams are having him as his running back 1 on their boards right now. Not there for me yet. I still think Omarion Hampton is number 2 behind Ashton Janty. But he had back-to-back 1,500 yards, 15 touchdown seasons. He's a dominant running back. He's 6'1", 220, and he ran a 4.47 at the combine. That is elite. He is great in open space. He pushes through tacklers at an elite level. I think Omarion Hampton can be a franchise running back for any team in the NFL. Then at number 52, grabbing Arante Ursere, who also had a great combine. He's 6'6", 360. He's a tackle to anchor the future of the position. Right now, you have Mike McGlinchey and Garrett Bowles, both on larger contracts. So this is more of a play for the future, right? Arante Ursray, I do think could play year one, but the fact that you can stock him and hide him behind McGlinchey and Bowles for a year or two as injury insurance and a guy that you're developing, I love that. He's a great pass blocker with great film and great size. I love all three of those things. Then number 84, grabbing Harold Fannin Jr. You know, a lot of guys are kind of low on Harold Fannin after the combine. He is a little undersized for tight end. He's not athletic enough to be a wide receiver. So I do see him more as that power slot than inline tight end. You know, like I see him more as a Travis Kelce than a Gronkowski. You know what I mean? He's more of a possession guy, willing to block, but he's definitely not Gronkowski, who's inline, running right up the inline position. You know, he's going to be running routes. But for me, production and film outweigh any measurables. He had 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns with a great catch radius. That's a guy I want at 84 who can come in and start day one for the Broncos. You have three potential starters in a row in 1, 2, and 3, but because of Arante Ursray, again, a deep position that you're drafting for the future, he's not going to start. Then at number 120, grabbing Jacob Parrish from Kansas State, a ball-hawking corner. He did a good job covering bigger wide receivers. He plays much bigger than his 5'10 frame, but most importantly, he ran a 4.3 40 with massive arms. I love his downfield ability to stick to receivers. So the fact that he can run fast, have very long arms, and play and cover wide receivers bigger than him, I trust him fully. Then number 191, grabbing Jamari Caldwell. Again, Jamari Caldwell, he developed nicely every year and did well in his first year, truly starting this past year. I think he'd be a 3 tech of the future. You know, either replace DJ Jones in the future, or maybe slot in nicely as a potential 3-4 starter defensive ends. Like, maybe that's something that can happen this year. He can get some snaps there. But he's great against the run. At minimum, this is a play for the future. Maybe he can develop. But I think Jamari Caldwell played great in a great conference with a great team that played playoff competition, and he played really good against it. I think Jamari Caldwell can easily be a day 2 pick. Then number 196, grabbing Braden Swinson. Last year had 43 pressures in his first year truly starting, and he dominated in the run defense. So he dominated in the run defense with great production and pass rushing. I like him as a rotation pass rusher in the first year or two of his career. Maybe he develops into something a little bit more later on, but at minimum, in a rotation guy, that is exactly what you want in a pass rusher. Then at number 208, grabbing Ethan Chisholm. You know, I think he's an interesting guy. One of the top FCS guys in this draft. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, but he produces every year. He's a crisp route runner on the inside. A lot of people saying he's a smaller Deebo Samuel, which I kind of agree on. I watched a little bit of his film, not a whole lot. I'm going to be very honest. I watched 2 games of Ethan Chisholm. You know, he sounds like not a white guy, but Ethan Chisholm is a white guy. But yeah, solid route runner. I really like him on the inside as a slot dude. And, you know, you have Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims as an outside dude. So maybe Ethan Chisholm can play more of that slot role with Deshaun Vele. But let's get another dude with this really good wide receiver core that Bo Nix can throw to. Then at number 238, grabbing Raheem Sanders from South Carolina. Good route running back as a third down option, but he has great speed at 4.47. I think he has, you know, issues with vision as a ball carrier, but once the ball's in his hands, I think within a red zone rush, he can be really used. Very compact body, very powerful, very fast, and this running back room is very thin. So I think you can see playing time right away. Obviously, having Omarion Hampton at number 20, Raheem Sanders will not be the starter, but I think Raheem Sanders is like a C- version of Omarion Hampton, so they can play kind of similar styles. And then you have guys that you already have on the team as those, you know, more rotation backs. But yeah, that is my mock draft of not my mock draft. That's my mock offseason of the Denver Broncos. If you guys did enjoy, please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you rate this offseason? I think it's a really good offseason. Again, in the draft, you get impact starters and guys you can develop for the future. In free agency, you get an impact wide receiver, a really good corner, and a great safety. You re-sign your core linebacker and D-tackle run defenders. So you keep the defense together, you improve on it, and you add a wide receiver and a lot of guys through depth in the draft. So if this could happen, I would be very happy for the Broncos. So again, if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, and I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.